Hey, good morning. Good morning, my Stampin' friends, my Stampin' peeps. I'm so glad you're here today. These cards are going to be so much fun. I mentioned this to you if you were on my live last week, that I don't know if this is a card that's been made or if I made it up. Sometimes as crafters, we just don't know. But I kind of came up with this idea, or like I said, I saw it and it came back to me. But this is what I'm calling a hidden gatefold card. And so when you open the flap, you kind of have a gatefold that comes inside for your message. I just thought it came out really cute. By the way, this is also a one-sheet wonder. I know we love that. And we're going to be using some designer series paper, creating a card for the girls, for the guys. I know how much we need the cards for the guys, so we'll be doing that one as well. Before we get started, let me invite my friends to come on with me. So we've got Christina. She's over there on Facebook right now. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Brenda is on YouTube. She's answering your comments over on YouTube. Hi, Brenda.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good. It's been a weirdly traumatic week at our house, but
Oh no.
It comes with having pets. Come on, guys. We all know if we have pets, we have
They're
drama.
not going through that around here too.
Yeah, my poor little Gracie girl stepped on, I think, a wasp.
Oh,
had a pretty crappy reaction to it. She ended up, her little foot swelled all up, and so we gave her Benadryl, which makes her hyper, and then she was just in a ton of pain, and then she wouldn't let me look at it or touch it because she hurt. And because she's a healer, her reaction is to try to bite at you. So I'm like, okay, I'll just sit on the utility room floor with you. And it was a rough night, but by morning she was great. So
good.
I know.
There's no episode of Bluey that addresses those kinds of problems with the healers.
I know, right? None of those bite.
Yep.
And actually, Gracie's not a biter unless she's in a lot of pain.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah, but
I'm
she's
the
all
same
good
way
now, so it ended well. And you bite when you're in pain.
Yep.
Yeah, Tucker's not a biter, but his teeth get in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? He's not trying to bite you. He's just like if we're playing ball and you're trying to get the ball, he's not biting you, but his teeth just get in the way and he doesn't realize
that, yeah.
No, he's not, mad or biting or trying. It's just, we always say your teeth get in the way, and he's still puppy enough that he doesn't think about those things.
Yeah.
My dog doesn't have any teeth.
Your poor little Chewy. So Christina's little dog Chewy. How old is Chewy? Get Chewy.
She is.
How old?
16.
Ancient
poor
dog.
Girl. There's the sweet little Chewy. Yeah, Chewy's been having some episodes, I guess we'll say.
As you get older, the bladder is not a muscle you can
Yeah.
control as well. We're all going to be in the same position one day. So,
or might be there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason after you have children you can't run anymore because
But 16,
that's my little
she's going pretty strong.
Yeah.
She's a good girl. She's a good little rescue.
Well, let me just tell those of you that are watching, we really don't just sit here and waste your time. We want to give everyone a chance to get onto the live. So sometimes we'll come on, we'll chat for a little while. If you're just like, hey, can we get to the stamping? Yes, we can. If you are watching the replay, you can scroll forward until you see my hands, and then you'll know we're ready to go live. But we do want to give everyone that opportunity to get their notification from YouTube that we're live, get where they can watch the video and get settled in. So we'd like to come on and catch up. And we've been reading your comments and hearing about all kinds of crazy weather. We've got Phoenix that's hitting well over 100 degrees, and New York was in the 80s. And it's always good to just hear what you guys are doing and how things are going. But
I agree. And I don't know, but I look forward to this time. It's like my community of Stampin' friends that I get to talk to once a week. And
exactly. Last summer, if you remember, we didn't do lives. We thought, well, we'll take off the summer from lives. And Oh, that was a huge mistake. We missed it. We missed you guys.
Really did.
We're like, no. I think we're going to go back to we're going to do lives in the summer. So, well, should we get to stamping our hidden, what do we call it? A hidden gatefold card.
Hidden gatefold. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm thinking this is going to be, can I just say, I think this is going to be a good Father's Day card.
Ooh, yeah, we could change that sentiment, couldn't we? Easy.
Yeah, for those of us who have procrastinated and need to make our cards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And if you're anything like me, tell me, have you guys ever done this? You'll go and you'll take this sentiment off, or you'll literally adhere another one right on top of it. I know I'm not the only one who's done that, because these are the things we must do. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to start with this card. Do you love this paper? Oh my gosh. And these colors, that wild wheat and moody mauve, so pretty together. A few things I want you to know. I do have a download for you. You know I always have a download for you. And so you'll have the supply list and the measurements and photos. If you need to come back and watch the video, and you might with a couple of the steps, you can click or scan the QR code to do that. And there's also a diagram. Yay for diagrams, because I want to make your card making project super easy. So this diagram will show you how to cut your cardstock and how to cut your designer series paper. So I want to keep that nearby because we'll use it. And then, of course, if you're in the United States, I always love to encourage you to choose me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I always appreciate your orders. It's just a wonderful way that you guys can support Simply Simple Stamping and the free download. So thank you so much for that. You can click on this image and it'll take you to my online store. And here's where you can see everything that I used. All right, with that, let's go ahead and talk about the supplies that we need. So it is a one sheet wonder. So we're going to use an 8.5 by 11 of Moody Mauve. I've got 2 6x6 pieces of designer series paper. This is the Wild Leaf Flowering designer series paper. By the way, that's just the other side. So I am going to be using both sides. I've got a little bit of Pebbled Path, a little bit of Basic White. I have another piece of Basic White. This will be for the inside. And let me show you the stamp set and die set we're going to use. We're going to be using the Wildflower designs and the matching dies. Can I tell you, even if you're not nuts about the stamp set, the dies are amazing. I love these frames. They're going to be fantastic. But it's nice to know we have some dies that'll go along with the images. So here we go.
Hey, Connie,
yes.
Quick reminder that the Stampin' bundles, the die bundles, are on sale this month.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, this is one of them that would be on sale. Yes. So normally 10% off, 20% off. Woohoo! We love that. I love a good sale, and friends don't let friends miss out on a good sale. All right, I'm going to bring my diagram in as I do my cutting. So we're going to start with diagram A. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off 3 and 3/4. Let me try that again. 3 3/4 by 11. And then we're going to score this at 5.5. And so this is going to make the flap that's on top. Okay. So that's that piece. Now I'm going to take this remaining. This is 5 1/4 by 11. Guys, I need you to cut off just 1/4 of an inch because I need it to be 10 3/4. That is important. If you don't do this, your card's not going to go together right. So make sure you're paying attention that little strip we do need to take off. We're going to do some scoring. So with the 10 3/4 up at the top, we're going to score this. And you can use your Simply Scored board as well, whichever one you love the most. I love my Simply Scored, but sometimes when I'm on camera, my paper trimmer takes up less space. So 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. And then it's actually 7.5 and 9.5. But sometimes, do you guys get lazy like me and go, I don't want to swing out that arm? So I'm just going to repeat that on the other side, 1 1/4 and 3 1/4. Either way, it's right. You can also do your 7.5 and 9.5. All right, we've got that. And So, oh, wait, I just put my paper trimmer away and I'm not done. I got to cut some designer series paper. One of the things I love about this part of the card is that you can cut through both of these at the same time, because when we cut this according to the diagram, the measurements are exactly the same. Now, my cardstock doesn't, or my designer series paper doesn't really have a set pattern. I don't know. I guess it kind of does. Let's pretend like it does. So if it has a pattern, so we want this up and down to go, I got to think about this. We want it to be sideways. Does that make sense? So there it is, right? We're going to rotate it. The first cut I want to make is right here, and it's 1 inch. Okay. So we're going to cut 1 inch. By the way, I'm cutting through both of those. Okay. Now we'll cut this down to 5 inches. And guys, that's the only scrap we're going to have. Not too shabby, right? Okay, so now with our remaining, this is now a 5 by 6. So we're going to put the 6 inches. That's the 6 inches up here at the top. And now we're going to cut 1/2 inch. Get those lined up. Make sure your designer series paper is lined up straight. So there's 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch. Next, we're going to do 1 inch. And you don't have to go in any kind of order, all right? My next cut is 1 inch by 5. After that, we're going to do a 1 3/4 right here. And that's going to leave us the 2 3/4. So that is all. That is really now all the cutting. So I'm going to move my diagram because we are finished with that. And let's do some stamping. So, well, you know what? Before we do some stamping, I actually have to do some die cutting. So let me bring in, I'm going to bring in this fabulous scallop. And we are going to die cut that from this piece of pebbled path. So I've already done that for you, all right? While I have this out, where's my other piece of cardstock? It has disappeared. It's hidden under something. Okay, friends, there's another piece of basic white, and I have just lost it on my desk, or my dog took it, one of the two. You're going to cut another one of these. And what I need to show you about this, though, again, this is going to be on white. All we need is this center. Do you see how it cuts out the center? So in the basic white, all we need is that piece, okay? So it's going to look a little something like that when we go to use it. Sorry about that. Sometimes just, you know what? It's just hard sometimes to find things on my desk. All right, let's do some stamping. The only ink pad I'm going to use is a Pebbled Path ink pad, but we're going to bring in some Stampin' Blends or Stampin' Write markers, whichever one you prefer. And my goodness, you guys, I can't seem to find, oh, I just found the basic white. You know, it's always something around here. All right. So this is for the inside of my card, and this is for the front. So for the inside of my card, we are going to stamp You've Been on My Mind. Oh, let's see. Ellen's here from Virginia. Welcome, Ellen. We're so glad you're joining us. I'm going to stamp You've Been on My Mind. And then we have a little flower image. By the way, I have been using this stamp set a lot. You're going to see it in some more videos coming up because I have just fallen in love with it. Now we're going to take the dandelion and we're going to stamp that kind of down here at the bottom of our, oh, what shape is that? I don't even know. I don't know what shape that is. Somebody help me. It's not quite a hexagon. All right, I have a little, just kind of a little piece here of some basic white, and we're going to stamp Sending Happy Thoughts right there. By the way, all the measurements for these are on the free diagram, or the free download. So, all right, let me move that off to the side. Let's do some coloring. I'm going to just get a little scratch paper here underneath me. Moody Mauve and Old Olive are going to be my colors. I think I'm going to just use the light Moody Mauve to color in my flowers. I mean, this is why I say you can use your Stampin' Write markers or you could use Stampin' Blends and an ink pad, or Stampin' Blends, I'm sorry, blender pens and an ink pad, whichever you prefer there. I missed a petal. And I'm going to color these all in as well. Don't get the leaves. We'll get those here in just a second with our old olive. And you know, I'd love to turn my head and read a comment or two, but boy, I'll tell you what, I sure can't color and look over at my computer at the same time. So Brenda, Christina, if you see any comments, questions, you know, my head is down, but I'm happy to answer.
Okay. I don't really have any questions, but Janice Long says hello.
Oh, hi, Janice Long. Or Mom.
Mom. And the other thing I thought of was watercolor pencils would work well with that as well.
Watercolor pencils. Okay, I'm going to tell you. So I'm not a huge watercolor pencil fan. But when Brenda was here, she started using them and she got me a little excited. So I bought myself some watercolor pencils. So we just might see those in a future video because I really liked what Brenda did. So with this, friends, I'm really just sticking to the light blends. Okay, I just didn't want these to be too dark. All right, simple coloring. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. And we are ready to put our designer series paper onto our card. Now, this paper in particular looks really pretty on both sides. So that was really helpful. So first things though, let's go ahead and crease our cardstock with a bone folder. So I'm going to take the two large panels and I'm going to fold them to the inside. Then I'm going to take these 1 1/4 inch panels and we'll fold them back. Sandy says she's been experimenting with watercolor pencils. Hey, Sandy, I sure would love to see what you've been doing. I just, you know, I think we just kind of get in our happy place of what we love to use. And so I'm kind of needing to branch out a little bit. So, all right, I'm going to bring the wild wheat panels, okay? And I'm going to adhere those onto the front panels, these little 1 1/4 inch guys. And get all this adhesive on here. It's an adhesive intense project because we've got a lot of designer series paper to adhere down. So we'll get one there and one here. And by the way, did anyone notice that the card is a 5 1/4? And if you're thinking, oh, well, that's not going to work, trust me, when it's done, it will. It's going to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 when we're all done with it. Because I got a little trick up my sleeve. All right, I'm going to bring in the Moody Mauve Designer Series paper on the inside. Ooh, I didn't get it straight. No. Can't have it. There we go. You know, I do know I could come in and fix that stuff at the end, but I don't know. The OCD in me says, nope, I can't let it stay that way. Anybody else? Okay, we'll add this piece. And by the way, you see it's not filling up that whole thing. It's just going here on the outside edge of my card because this part's kind of hidden. They're really not going to see it. Okay, now let's open up our card. And we have these panels here. And so I'm going to do the Moody Mauve here on the inside. So these will be the 1 3/4 inch pieces. And they will fit there on those 2 inch panels. I love to create one sheet wonder projects. They are my favorites. And oh, by the way, this is another good time for me to tell you because I just noticed it. Because this is a directional paper, make sure you're putting it on right side up because I almost put that one on upside down, but I didn't. All right. And you want to know what? If you didn't put it on right side up, it is now. It's that simple. Wonder if I got these on right. Oh, you know what? These pieces went the other direction anyway, so it's all good. All right. These little 1/2-inch pieces. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other side. I was so tickled when I put this card when I was playing with it, because I love to create one sheet wonders. I love to go, okay, how can I do this and really get maximum capacity out of my designer series paper? And
Hey, Connie.
Yeah.
We have a question. One of the viewers wants to know when they can sign up for the next Creative 8 retreat.
That is June 28th.
Perfect.
And if you are following my newsletter, I think I accidentally said June 21st because I guess I can't read a calendar. So it is the 28th. So yes, and that is on a Friday. And I've got to stop because if I talk during this part, I'm going to mess up. When we adhere this card to the inside of our card, do you see how it's sticking up? That's where we're going to get that extra 1/4 of an inch to make this a 5 1/4 inch card. But, and this part's important because when I was making my reel, I didn't do it correctly. You don't want your adhesive right up here at the top. So make sure you come down just about 1/4 of an inch, okay? And you can add some here. Just make sure it's not there at the very, very top. When we add this, you're going to line it up at the bottom of the card. Line it up from left to right as well. All right. Now you can see how our card's starting to come together. We've got 2 more pieces of designer series paper. I'm going to, I told you, it's super adhesive heavy, right? I did not lie to you on that one. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to take the Moody Mauve, that'll go on the inside. And then the Wild Wheat will go on the outside. And then we'll get to like kind of start decorating. So adding that one, whoops. See that directional paper, making sure I'm getting it on straight. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, since we're at this point, this was for the inside. This is where you'll write your message. Okay, and this little burst of white inside really sets off that designer series paper. Okay, hiding our gatefold. Now let's decorate the front. So we have this fabulous little scallopy die cut. For this, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my multi-purpose glue. Oop, doesn't take a lot. It kind of came out a little fast on me there. So we'll get a little bit of adhesive there. And we'll add this. There we go. Add that to the front of your card. Now we can also, my glue is here, so we'll just use it. We're going to add this right inside. See, that's why I wanted to use this die cut, because there is a die cut like this, but it's smaller. And so I wanted to fill that in. I didn't want that designer series paper kind of showing through on this one. Let's take our sentiment, the sending happy thoughts. And we're going to add about 3 or 4 dimensionals, whatever you want to go with there. And this will go right across the front. And by the way, the ends are going to line up with your card, okay? So that is cut just the right size. I wanted to add a little ribbon. So this is the iridescent striped ribbon. I'm going to press the center knot there on a mini glue dot. We'll add that there. And look at that. Isn't that a fun card? And it's really fun when it stands as well. Okay, so those of you that you really want your cards to be able to be on display, this is a great one for that, because there's so much going on. It's just beautiful. And of course, the colors, we went from, the Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve, Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve. Yep, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful card. Super fun. All right, We did it. We got through the first one. Now let's do the masculine version. Give me just a second to kind of reset here. I'm going to bring in my card. And the measurements, everything is the same. And so I went ahead, I hope you don't mind, I went ahead and pre-cut everything. Remember, it's all in the diagram, so don't stress over it. So my card base is in early espresso, and then there's my top fold, okay? I've got my designer series paper. Let me go ahead and get all of my designer series paper because we're gonna be bringing that in pretty quick. This card is going to feature the Unbounded Love. And we're going to say happy birthday, but you know, Brenda mentioned Father's Day. We could do a celebrate. You might find one of your other stamp sets that has a happy Father's Day. You're a true blessing. Great for Father's Day. You are loved. Yeah, so many different things that would work from this stamp set for Father's Day. It doesn't have to say happy Father's Day. We're going to use the dies as well. And I'm going to use this image. Before I tell you anything about this part, I have to share a little story on myself. I was creating the reel for this card today. And you see these great floral images? Look at that. You can't even see them because when I made this card, it was a lighter part of the designer series paper. And I suddenly went, I don't know how that's going to work. So I'm going to tell on myself, but it's so that you can avoid this. If your designer series paper turns out to be on a darker panel, you will simply change from early espresso to crumb cake. If I had done those in crumb cake, I think it would have been beautiful. But when I put my card together, the first time I didn't think about it. It wasn't until I made the reel that I went, you can hardly see that. So there's a little tip for you. Don't be a Connie. Just wait to cut this cardstock until you know what color you're going to need. All right, so I've got the inside and my sentiment. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Again, easy stamping today, guys. Early espresso. And I will say happy birthday. And I don't know if I put the punch on your project sheet. I really am not 100% sure. But, and now I'm not even sure the name of this punch. It's a new one. But you know what? Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. You can use any punch that you want. But this die set didn't have a label. So I did have to bring in something else. And you know what? You can always just cut this down to a square. You know, there's no stress. Squares, rectangles, it all looks really good too. We're going to say, may all your wishes come true because it's a birthday card. All right, let's put some stuff together. And I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. I'll go ahead. Again, we're going to do a bunch of adhering. You guys have seen me do this. And I almost hate to have to keep doing it on you. But I'll tell you.
Connie.
Yeah.
Desert Deb said that she's thinking the inside top part of the card panel could have a little holder for gift cards or cash.
It sure could. I'm looking. I usually have like a gift card here on my desk, and I don't. But absolutely a gift card could fit there. Excellent. Thank you, Deb. Good idea. Because, you know, we all want to give Dad something special. Here's what I was talking about. When I cut my paper, one is much darker than the other. So, you know, if you'll just take a moment to kind of look at your paper, and I really like the lighter one on the front because the card does have a lot of dark going on. And by the way, Deb, your idea, you know what we could do? We could probably take this piece of cardstock or designer series paper and cut it down a little bit. Instead of adding this here, you could come across and turn it into a little pocket. Or you could go ahead and add this and just put a little adhesive on the back of your gift card and just adhere it to the designer series paper, because I've done that many times too. But that is a really, really good idea. I am a gift card person. I love to give gift cards. It's one of my favorite things to do. And you know what, guys? How are we doing on time? Oh, we are coming to the end. So let me just show you really quick how I'll just do one side of this. How about that? So I did a light here on the inside. See, this is what was great. I had these little 1/2-inch pieces, but can you see with the 1/2-inch pieces, it was just enough that this card, it looks like I filled it up, right? So we'll add, you know what? You guys get the drill, right? But I am going to show you one part, and that is how I did my linen thread. So I'm going to bring in, this is just the card. And this really can be easier to do before you've adhered everything together. So I'm going to take some linen thread, and I'm going to add the end of it right there in the middle. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, right to this part. I'm going to search for my scissors. Cut that off. Now I'm going to come in with Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just going to kind of capture that end. Of course, once I've got one in place, it makes the next one super easy. You can kind of spread these out at this point. Like, well, come on, there we go, like so. I can take my sentiment now. That will go right over those. And then, of course, you can see how I just added my little leafy images. I did that. You could do it with your fine tip glue pen or just some little dots. Let me kind of show you what I mean here. Just turn that over and just some little dots of multi-purpose glue all over the back. Remember, you've got 2 of these. And also remember, you might be doing these in crumb cake instead. And we can add that one. And of course, then you can just add the other one. You can bring it up a little bit higher. So that's all you're going to be doing to that one. It's and everything else, it's all going to go together exactly the same way. And boy, I get it, guys. Those masculine cards, they can be tricky. All right, I'm going to bring in my first one more time. Guys, I'm telling you, whatever designer series paper you have, and if you're one that's been hoarding it, it's time to get it out. These are fantastic cards. You've got a diagram. Guys, I know you can do it. Just take your time and remember to cut off that little 1/4 of an inch on your 5 1/4 by 11. It needs to be 5 1/4 by 10 3/4. All right, I'm going to come back over here. Hey, we are not going to be live next week. I'm going to be out of town on Thursday. I do have a video for you. I've got a Now Wower, holy cow. And those are really great to do because sometimes they can be really long videos. So I know you guys will appreciate the cut version versus me trying to do it live. So I will be back next week, but not with a live video. But I hope that you'll join me because Now Wow and holy cow. And let me tell you what, the cards are amazing. We're going to use the Layers of Beauty bundle. The cards are gorgeous. I can't wait for you to see them. So I hope that you'll join me. And with that, my friends, I just want to take a moment to say thank you for stopping by. Subscribe. Take a minute to subscribe to the channel. We love having you. We'd love to have you have us. I'm going to try that again. We'd love to have you join us on our lives every Thursday. And then, of course, I've got Tuesday tips for you on Tuesday. So join us, won't you? Have a fantastic day, everybody. You're the best. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.